All right, bro.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to That'll Be $8, the podcast, aka the Black Awareness Rally, a podcast. You could be rocking with anybody else in the world right now, but you are here with us. And for that, we do appreciate you. It's your man Pledge alongside my main man B.
What's going on, man?
Doing well. What's going on in your world, B?
Uh, just finished last episode of Lovecraft Country.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Made a thug cry tears. I don't like that. Show terrible because
Really?
of that. You know what I mean?
Man. I think I might have dropped off around the episode 4 or 5 mark.
Yeah. I didn't think
Um
he was gonna make it that long.
Dude, I don't. I mean, hopefully at the end, it wraps it around a nice little bow. From what I heard, is that it all kind of comes together at the end. So,
Still
I
gonna be a lot
might
of
have
magic
to,
and sci-fi though. Like that's not changing. It's not going anywhere.
so the historical context doesn't come back into play at all.
It's, it never left, but for you, it does get it does get easier to stomach
All
in
right,
terms
man.
of how you like to see things. Yes.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's getting busier and busier this time of year. Um,
Just you
I don't
just
know if
fall
I
out,
have
dog. Just
five
fall out.
hours. I don't know if I have another 5 hours to
Yeah, don't do yourself, dog. Just
devote to just trying to do something to say I did it. So
hey,
we'll see what
hey,
happens.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. But I was telling quite a few people. As a matter of fact, Mac's son called me Thursday night, and they was like, "What the hell is this?" Him and his wife was watching it, and they needed, I guess, because I was so vocal about it online, they wanted to hear from me. But if you got to have proclivities for it. You know what I mean? So tell everybody, man, if you don't want to see no magic, you know, witches, CGI, aliens, don't watch it.
Mhm.
That's pretty much that. Yeah, man, what you been up to?
Same old thing, man. Work, trying to take care of the household, and I don't know. Basketball season is coming back around, so it feels like my
At the
oldest will be
job?
starting. Well, I mean, I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to help out with the high school team this year.
Mm-hmm.
There've been some changes that have been made. And on top of everything, with the COVID situation, with it being a volunteer situation, it's almost like
Is it
it's
worth it?
it's very easy to step away, and
Yeah.
so they're making it an easier and easier decision for me not to be a part of it. But I don't know, man. But it is something to do though. So,
Yeah.
but I got to get my oldest, got to get him ready. He's gonna be starting the league in another week or so,
Mm.
and he's 8, but he's gonna be playing against kids up to 10 years old.
Yeah.
And so he's gonna be first time playing in a league where they're playing on a 10-foot rim. So you gotta put in a lot of work to get him ready and make sure that he's able to maintain that same level of production on the
Is he
court.
is he 8 already?
Yeah, he's 8. So
Okay.
yeah, so it'll be so we're gonna be working with him a lot more. Um, so be interesting, man.
Nah, that's what's up, man. It's something to look forward to. Watch your kids
Yeah.
go out there and show the other kids what for. Uh nah, I don't have nothing that cool going on. Just finished decorating another room, so just I guess enjoying that and watching eagerly to see what the school district is gonna do about teachers coming back. So I think
Yeah.
have been the two biggest things in my life. But yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Be
All
lucky
right,
you're
man,
not
let's get
old
to it,
anymore.
man. Hmm?
I said, be lucky you're not in Florida anymore when it comes to the school district.
Oh yeah, man. It's that's disheartening,
Yeah,
honestly. But it's my new outlook on stuff is we let it happen. So hey, it is what it is. School board is an elected official.
that is true.
So there's that. Uh anyway, let's dance, man. Let's dance. Uh just realized I ain't do nothing in preparation for this except read. No graphics, nothing. I even forgot to get my Black Awareness Rally folks going, but we're gonna see what's up. All right, what you got? You want to skip this one? Or?
No, I got some stuff.
All right.
For the Miss Black Awareness pageant nominee this week, I'm going to give a shout out to Miss Kirsten Walker. She was the moderator of the presidential debate this past week.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first sisters to moderate a presidential debate since 1992. And a lot of people says that this was out of all the previous debates, whether it be the vice presidential debate or the first presidential debate, this was by far the best conducted debate. So give a shout out to that sister for holding down that spot. I'm pretty sure after the first one, she saw that her decks were stacked against her, but she held it down and did her thing. So shout out to her for. I don't know. I mean, if you're a moderator of debate, is the fact that you don't become a part of the conversation of the debate, does that mean you did a good job?
In this new political climate that Trump has created, or that we let Trump create, yes. That's a low ass bar.
I mean, because that's what I'm saying. It's like she did a good job because it ran smooth and she didn't need to step in that much. I mean, it's kind of it's almost like being a good official.
Yeah.
If the game runs smooth, you did your job.
I mean, like we said, man, we be letting it. This new climate is just it's piss poor, man. Like so many things have been diluted and muddied, and it's a lot to deal with, bro. But found some stuff real quick, man. I just think we need to do more. Us non-elected officials, anything like you were saying, officiate, even officials. Man, you got to try your best to uphold the ethics of the position you in. I mean, it's already bad enough they let LeBron James get away with that travel that one time. You seen that video yet? That it didn't go viral. Well, it went viral in terms of basketball people. But LeBron was walking the ball up the court, and like just after he crossed half court, he like took a bounce or something like that and took like 4 steps, then dribbled. Like he kind of carried it and then took a dribble. And the dude that was guarding was looking at the ref like, "You're not gonna call that foul? That travel?" The ref was like, "So, hey man, somebody got to do the job, right?" But no, shout out to her, man. It was definitely a more enjoyable debate, more substantive. And do you think Trump was scared to get on the black chick's bad side?
No, not the way he go after black women. He was not scared.
I'm talking about in real time, though. In real time. Huh? In real time. Not in tweets.
His people got to him and said, "Hey, look here. You have to be more. You have to be more mannerable. You have to be kinder, softer."
Mm-hmm.
That's what even people on the right have been saying. Like, hey, man, you can't just steamroll over people. And that wasn't just his treatment to the moderator. That was his treatment to Biden as well in this debate. So it was definitely a side that we're not necessarily used to seeing from Trump. And I do think that it was a shock. I think the reason why you pose a question is because it's not something that we're used to seeing, and we don't know what where it's coming from, or why it's here after 4 years of showing us the exact opposite.
Mm. Uh, yeah, it definitely has been 4 years of that BS. And again,
Yeah.
he completely devalued the the institution. So
Yeah. I mean, he's still lying though. I mean, he,
no, yeah, 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 yeah.
he
Like
still ain't telling the truth though. He's
nah,
just doing it
he
in a nicer way.
his content didn't change. His delivery did. He was certainly a bit more couth, but your boy was just out there saying bullshit as usual. Billions and billions and billions. It's like nigga,
And not answering questions at all.
whatsoever. But he almost got one of my homegirls after watching the Mike Pence debate. She was like, "Man, he's so charismatic." I was like, "But he's still lying." So
Yeah. You talking about Pence
yeah,
or
the VP debate. Like I
yeah,
noticed the strategy switch up because it was such a stark contrast to Trump that
yeah,
it looked like, oh, this guy must be smart. Look at how well mannered he is, and he's complimenting everybody. I was like, but he's still lying. And
yeah,
so Trump came out, basically employed a lot of the same strategies. I was like, but he's still lying.
yeah.
But anyway, let me get into it. Let me get into it. Let me go. I found some young ladies that deserve credit and recognition for their feats. These two African American women, young ladies, had Latanya and Latoya Harris graduated high school as valedictorian and salutatorian, and they're about to do it all over again in college.
Oh wow,
Yeah, so
man.
they're going to get their second master's degree in clinical nutrition and their doctorate in chiropractic medicine. God dang.
Ooh.
Woo.
What school are these young ladies at?
Let me look. 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 Where are they at? UT Austin, University of Texas Austin. No, excuse me, Parker University is where they're getting a master's degree. They got their first couple degrees from UT Austin. Hold on, real quick. I forgot to plug my laptop in. Hold on, bro. But yeah, that's them. And shout out to those young ladies, the Harris twins. Let's go to the next segment of the rally.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and for my sports and entertainment moment, I am going to shout out. I think he's still the GOAT. It might be diminishing, but I'm gonna shout out Michael Jordan. Not only has he transcended basketball, but now Michael Jordan has stepped into the world of NASCAR ownership, which is big. Not only did is he going to be the first black owner, but the only black NASCAR driver, Bubba Wallace,
Mm-hmm.
will be racing for him, and he has the iconic 23 on the car. So gotta give a shot at MJ, man. He might be losing his grasp on basketball, so he has to transition to another sport because LeBron is coming. But yeah, shout outs to MJ, man, for making it happen. I mean, do you think he's gonna be able to pull a new demographic over to NASCAR at all?
You mean his winning percentages?
Not winning percent, I mean, but just people just tuning in to
Oh, you
watch it.
mean the brand? Like,
Yeah,
will the crowd follow him?
yeah. I mean, because
Uh,
we traditionally haven't been
represented.
people who participated or watched NASCAR events. So I mean, do you think now it'd be like, oh well, we got to support MJ. I mean, we support everything else he does. So
Nah, I wouldn't say we do that. I mean, we got sneakers. That's pretty much the only thing I think translated off the court. But nah, man, I don't know. I don't think so because the product itself still isn't particularly entertaining for Black folk. I do think this might be like a small segment. I think the people we're going to be discussing today on the show are going to keep up with it. Are they going to attend the events and watch it live? I don't know. That remains to be seen. I don't have faith that his brand is that attractive.
mm,
I think
I
that's what the NASCAR is definitely hoping that.
yeah. Do
But
you feel like this is in retaliation to LeBron winning another championship?
nah, because he did this in a few years ago when he tried to get into
I'm just kidding.
motorcycle racing. I know you're trying to hate that. You saw that meme? As long as niggas still willing to kill somebody over George and not LeBron might go. That's that. That's that. Uh, but
Oh
yeah,
no,
nah.
but I mean, he waited to drop that announcement though. Like he couldn't give LeBron a week. He
That
couldn't say,
announcement came
"Hey,
out before that, didn't it?
no." He dropped the number 23, the Bubba Wallace. He dropped all that within the last week. He couldn't give LeBron a week. I mean, the parade wasn't even over, and Jordan making another announcement.
Listen, I think it's good for business for these boys to be going at it like they doing off the court. Bring it on, fellas. Y'all keep going. It's like GNC and a foreign motor company back in the late 19th century. Let's see what happened.
Hey,
But
we're the ones who win.
there you go. That's
We
exactly what it
compete,
is.
we win.
Right. Because Dodge and GMC was making them cars they made, and Ford was like, oh, I'll make a cheaper one. Everybody can get a car. But nah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to watch. If Mike is being that petty, keep it up, Mike.
Nah, I mean, but owning a NASCAR team, I think that's big though. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Like I was saying, he was in what is it called, motocross?
I don't know, but he was at the motorcycle. He had a motorcycle.
was trying
He had a
for a while.
Jordan brand motorcycle company.
Like this ain't his first foray in a weird sport, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right, let me go. Former NBA star Sean Kemp, my first favorite player ever. My first favorite player ever was he's opened Seattle's first black-owned cannabis dispensary. So shout out to the Rain Man for breaking another record. That's pretty much all I got. I ain't really
I
read too
mean,
much into it.
I know
They
Killer
opened
Mike
on
has
the
been a
30th
big.
of this month. Huh?
I'm saying I know Killer Mike has been a big proponent of it, especially since so many young black men got wrapped up criminally within the weed organization, and now that it's legal, he feels like young black men should have the first dibs at being able to profit for something that incarcerated much of so many of them. So it's good to hear that Sean Kemp is getting on board, and I know that there's been it might not have been Killer Mike, but I think there's some celebrity that's like bridging the gap between people who are starting dispensaries and ways for Black people to invest in those, so people, young Black people, can profit off of this big boom.
The trend, yeah, the industry.
Yeah, I mean, because it is going to be huge.
Yeah, I just I hope people that are looking to get in the industry find some success, because I know about maybe 3 or 4 years ago I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about how hard it was for African Americans to get funding to get into it. Like, people wanted to do it, it's just they couldn't secure funding, and then you had all these white people showing up out of nowhere, just open up and just taking over. And so definitely had a discussion about the incarceration rates due to, possession with intent to sell and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm glad to see that the news or the narrative is starting to be impacted a little bit. I don't know if that's moving the needle. We still need people we need places like, I think Illinois overturned nonviolent drug offenses. And I think they released a lot of the folks that were affected by the harsher penalties for African Americans and Latinos. So I hope people start taking up that mantle too. Like, we need these governments and cities to get involved and overdo these prosecutions, because let's be honest, arresting people for selling drugs or certain amounts of drugs, I should say.
Yeah, actually, it was during the presidential debate. Killer Mike was tweeting about it. I just remembered Killer Mike was tweeting about it because a lot of people were giving pushback to Biden with the 94 crime bill.
Yeah.
And Killer Mike was saying that one way that Biden can kind of make up for that 94 crime bill that incarcerated a lot of young African American men is for them to, give black men the opportunity to profit off of the legalized weed business.
Right.
Since we were the ones who were disproportionately affected by it in the negative way, we should be disproportionately able to profit off of it in a legal way. So that's what I remember Thursday during the presidential debate that Killer Mike was alluding to.
Yeah. This will tie into another part of the conversation a bit later. Something that needs to happen more is the news needs to be spread. Let's be honest. Like, we can't depend on the media to particularly spread certain types of information. Like, to your point, the Illinois governor on the 31st of January, the news reported, December, Governor of Illinois gave pardon to 11,000 marijuana convictions. 11,000?
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that needs to be touted. I know the people in Illinois are probably going to be excited about it, but that type of information needs to be shared around the country, mainstream news, because a lot of people are looking at things that are happening in their personal life, making political decisions based on that. So Anyway, all right, what you got for you? You got you one for the community?
For the community, man, I just really want to shout out just collectively voting, the early numbers. People are showing up and really getting their voices heard. They're comparing the early voting to this election from the election 4 years ago. I mean, and the numbers are huge for the amount of people that have shown up so far to vote early. And so just want to kind of give people a shout out that have already voted. Not people that are voting, but people that are helping other people, vote and make sure that they're able to, get to the polls and make their voices heard.
Yeah.
And, encourage people to, make their plan. I have a plan for early voting this week. So we'll definitely be following through on that. But keep it going. And numbers are looking good.
Yeah.
So keep it going.
Saw some kind of record Texas broke for early voting. I think they doubled the turnout from 2016 just based on early voting numbers.
Yeah.
So, hey man, hopefully that translates into some major overhaul. Kendra said, should we look to BET for news on black stuff? I said no, but we're gonna have to start thinking about how much work is going to require individuals to do to be informed about different things. Because, as evidenced by topic number 1, stuff ain't gonna make the front page of Sports Center, and you got to find other outlets to get certain information. So, let's get to it. Oh, for me, my third shout out. I want to give a shout out to the city of Stonecrest, Georgia. Had a chance to meet some of the councilmen from there yesterday. I'll meet one of them, and just listening to the amount of things that community has gotten done in terms of making it an attractive place to live for African Americans who want to just get money the long way. I mean, the long play. And I was inspired to know that, if you look hard enough, you get closer to the ground, you can see some successes happening and that aren't necessarily such a foreign concept in your own neighborhood. So shout out to them, and shout out to the DeKalb County chapter of the NAACP for being so ubiquitous. Oh, also this organization called NACA. They giving people free rides to the polls in these big, nice transport vans, travel vans. And it's just inspiring, man. You get out there and look for some good news, you'll find it.
Yeah. And Lyft as well. I got a notification that Lyft is like if you're riding to the polls or whatever,
Mhm.
it's almost like 50% off
Really?
your Lyft ride.
Hmm.
If you're getting a ride to the polls. So I
Okay.
think people are definitely trying to make sure people get out and get participate.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man, is that when the left comes out and vote, you know, they win the election.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's just pure. I mean, the only way for the right to win is if people don't show up, and that's what happened in 2016.
True. No argument with that. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I also wanted to add something to that. You kind of tied two of your points together. Is that if you kind of get involved and you look for good news, you're going to find it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I know before you were talking about BET News and or other news outlets, or whatever. We have to understand that it may not have always been this way, but the way it is now, news is an entertainment. First and foremost is entertainment. So their job isn't necessarily to keep us informed. Their job is to keep us entertained and to keep us coming back.
Yeah.
And a lot
keep
of
us on the platform.
A lot of it is sensationalism. So they're not telling you what you need to hear. They're telling you what you want to hear, so you can keep coming back for more and more. And so, like you said, it's not until you get involved and you start doing some research yourself to where you see some of the good things that are really taking place. And so that's one thing too is, man, don't just believe everything you hear saying, even if they've in the past been credible news organizations. It's now more competitive than ever for your attention and for your ear and for your advertising dollar. So these so-called news organizations, they've kind of sold out to that to that mindset, saying,
hey,
hey,
business model.
Yeah. So I like what you said is that, kind of get involved and go out in the streets where it's happening at.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see what's really going on as opposed to hearing it from a second source.
Right. So yeah, definitely. Topic number one is definitely going to be addressing that in a way. Did you want to stick to the schedule we had, or did you?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of let you lead that one. I guess I'll ask questions about it. Topic number one. We didn't have a chance to come in last week and discuss with you guys because my dog was out there celebrating life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing. It's a fortunate situation to be able to have, especially during the pandemic. So pause for a good cause. So we're going to come back and tackle a subject that was very prominent the prior week. And that's the news of Ice Cube's contract with Black America making its way into the national political conversation thanks to a few tweets by Trump's campaign team. There's been some backlash with that. Certainly was a lightning rod, certainly was a polarizing event. And lots of people have been voicing their opinions and their concerns about the information that the campaign has shared with everybody. And people were clearly divided on the issue. So players want to talk about it. I guess I took a pledge stance on this particular issue. I was like, it don't deserve attention, but it is what it is. What you got?
No, I mean, as I said, there has been a lot of I don't want to say uproar, but a lot of pushback to his method and his way of going about getting the contract in front of Black America. And this is something that we've discussed before.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's unfortunate at this point in the game that there's so much kind of pushback. And I think a lot of misinformation because one, he definitely, I don't want to say he got played, but I definitely think that the people that he met with kind of misrepresented everything that happened. and Cube admitted, like, hey, yeah, they took that meeting as if I'm, endorsing them, and he is not endorsed 45's campaign at all.
Mm-hmm.
When he originally set out the contract for Black America, he said that he would be meeting with both sides. He would engage both sides. And so the same information has been out there from the beginning. I think that a lot of the pushback came when word got out that he met with 45's side. I think that's the only thing that's changed since the beginning of what's going on. And I mean, I can understand where a lot of people felt like he, might have been jumping the line and not really going about it in the way, politics and the way policy is normally bought to leadership. I understand that argument more than any other argument of people saying, hey, we've been trying to get things passed, and we've gone through a certain procedure and a certain process. And you pushing around your celebrity or whatever has kind of disrupted that process. That's the argument that I understand the most out of it. But engaging both sides, I think that no matter what result we get in about a week and a half or whatever, whatever initiatives that we're trying to move forward, I don't think we should wait another 4 years and hope that our side gets in before we are able to engage and advocate for ourselves. So that's what I'll say about that.
This is a teachable moment for anybody that might come across our page. Hey man, what time out? Have you noticed that some of the shit we say on the show is starting to like pop up in national discourses? Like, not that I don't know. I don't know who's listening. Really don't. But I've been seeing some of the phrases that we say here, some of the topics or the stances that we've been taking, starting to show up in some weird places that are like really high up in the sky. They're not like presidents or anything, but some other platforms that, I mean, at the very least, confirm that the work that we're doing is the right work, that the messages that we're trying to share are the right messages. And I definitely want people to get this point. There is a right and wrong involved in all of this stuff. There is a right and wrong involved in the work that we try to do here. And everything that we do is we're trying our best to be a benefit to the community, to improve the quality of life for people that are in earshot. And apparently we're saying the right things because people that have been doing this way longer than us, with much more wisdom than us, are echoing our same sentiments. So let's get to it. Cube was wrong. And Cube was wrong not because of what he said, not because of what the contract said, but in hindsight, Cube was wrong for when he released it. He was wrong for who he released it to, and then the people he decided to work with. Like the players just said, we don't have to wait 4 years to get stuff done. He could have released this 3 years ago. He could have released it 2 years ago. He could have released it a year ago. He didn't do either of those things.
Well, I mean, in terms of timing, one of the reasons he said that, he had kind of, one is that, this quarantine situation kind of gave him a break from his normal busy schedule or whatever. So he kind of got a chance to view things from a different perspective. And the situation with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor are the situations that kind of thrust him into putting this together. So from a timing standpoint, it was more to address current situations that have been taking place over the last few months.
Okay.
So that's from a timing standpoint.
Yeah. I still don't agree with when he did it. I don't care what got him hyped about doing it. I just think the timing was wrong.
And like you said, I mean, this is a time where, people are. I mean, he said this is the deal making season. I don't agree with that.
I don't either.
I don't agree with saying, hey, this is time for us to make a deal, because a deal is just all about just trying to win, as opposed to truly feeling that you're trying to bring about change.
Right.
I think that's the difference between people that are doing things for the right reasons, as opposed to people who are just trying to win.
Yeah.
But I mean, he did say that this is a deal making. So if somebody is trying to, win people to their side, this would, the present time is more so than, prominent any other time. So
yeah, I'm not letting him off the hook. Sorry, I'm not letting it happen, because I think we need to be outright with stuff. We have a society that is attracted to demagoguery more than they are information. We have a society that's attracted to flash and bang more than actual steak. Cats like more sizzle than they do steak. And unfortunately, because sizzle doesn't satiate you, you have to stay there and get more sizzle instead of just getting one piece of steak. And I think Cube's celebrity status is certainly a lot of sizzle. You look at the contract, there wasn't a lot of steak. And I think the second topic is, so the reason we needed to address the second topic of today's show is because so many of us don't have the ability, can't afford to spare the time necessary to look into substantive issues, to go into city council meetings and talk to elected officials, to sit on policy review boards and be involved in the decision making for their actual community, because life is the way it is. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of us got to work 2 jobs. If I were still in Florida, I would have to work a second job to make the same money I make here in Georgia. And that's an unfortunate reality for a lot of us. One, because we elected the wrong board officials for the school board. But, I mean, a lot of cats are getting over like fat cats. To that point, there is this idea that voting only happens once every 4 years. That's not true. Voting literally happens every year. Second thing, we need more people to show up to vote in every election. There are elections that are being won with 350 votes. Not that the person beat another person by 350 votes. That's how many people showed up to vote in these elections. And these are the people that are deciding whether your tax rates on your property goes up. These are the people that are deciding what your child's schooling will look like, where factories are being built. These people are winning and getting what they want with 350 votes. Again, that's not
banking on people not showing up.
Right. And it's not because they beat their opponent by 350 votes. There was only 350 people that participated in the election. Period.
And for some of us,
that has 4,500 people, huh?
I said for some of us, that's a group text message.
Exactly. And so, what I want to use Cube's situation to share with everybody, you cannot say that there isn't work being done for your life and for the greater good if you're not participating in every possible avenue. Ice Cube was extremely ignorant and thinking that nobody had made a contract that before he made one. Ice Cube was extremely ignorant, and I say ignorant as in he ignored the information that was being done, and he didn't know about what was already available. If he cared enough, this is why I keep taking this stance. I don't think that Ice Cube is an unintelligent man. You can't accomplish what he did without being an intelligent man. Can't accomplish what he did without looking into information that isn't readily available to you. Because as evidenced with the NWA movie, he found out about his contract negotiations and the stipulations in his contract without somebody coming to him telling him, right? That the narrative we have, right? So Ice Cube strikes me as a man that does his research when he cares enough. So why was this situation any different? If his integrity matches his word, then that means what we know about his contract disputes 20, 30 years ago is not true. We can't sit here and keep thinking that nobody's doing the work or that Ice Cube is coming to us after doing some thorough investigation of what's already been in place, and then assuming that he's coming to us with all truth and honesty. I don't think he's done any fucking work before he's done this. I don't think he's talked to anybody that's on the ground or anybody that's prominent enough for him to come out and say what he did. I had this discussion with you and a couple other people. It's just he just made himself look bad, and then Trump exploited his novice, unexperienced, green ass for what it was, and now he has to come out and do this apology tour because he got exposed.
I mean, as far as him working with people, one, he put the plan out for people to see and for people to add to it. And then two, I mean, Dr. Claude Anderson, the man who wrote the book Powernomics, as well as other books, and who was in it, in the White House, an advisor, an economic advisor to presidents. He did an interview and said that Cube approached him and they spoke about some of the things that have been
in place. Right.
And the thing, and Claude Anderson kind of said the same thing, is that he's been trying to get these things pushed, more so to the left. But the only people that were willing to sit down with him and listen to his his Powernomics plans was the people on the right. In this election, he said that he's tried to meet with the Biden Harris campaign or whatever. But guess who was willing to meet with him to talk about the Powernomics?
Guess what?
Jared Kushner.
Guess Jared what? Kushner was. Okay. Well, guess what? Everybody in the Biden camp was saying was the reason that they got a meeting before Biden could. Nigga, we ain't in office. We don't make no laws. We don't do shit. We're not in control of anything. We're trying to get into a position. Let me put this out here. Pledge, energy is finite. You don't get extra energy. It's not an unlimited supply. So that means all your efforts have to be concerted. And if you claim that you want the same thing as somebody else, why not join forces with them instead of splitting your energy up? Why split your efforts up and then be less effective?
I don't think he's turned down working with anybody.
No. That's not. Hear me when I say this. I'm not saying Q rejected who to work with. I'm saying Q did the wrong thing in search of the right goal. Nothing is wrong with what he wants. I agree with what he wants. We all agree with what he wants.
I think that's my main thing, is that if we agree that something needs to happen or whatever, we can't necessarily get mad at people who put forth the effort to do it, even if they don't do it the right way.
Let me bring it to your front. Let me bring it to your front door. You're a basketball coach, right?
Yes.
Did your team win a championship in the last 15 years?
No.
Okay. So you have a guy who's famous, says he wants to help your team win a championship, right? Right?
Yeah.
And he says, can I come have a meeting with you guys and the coaches? And you say, sure, come at this specific time. And he shows up to the meeting, which you happen to be a practice, right? And he's at the practice, and you're like, hey, guys, we brought in this famous person who wants to help us win the championship. We are going to work with him to get the championship done. And so everybody's happy. He's like, yay, cool. And then practice starts. And this nigga start running your drills, calling plays, trying to take over what should be worn, giving new numbers out, changing the colors, picking the uniforms. And you're looking at him like, nigga, we already got all that. What are you doing? Nah, nigga, what y'all been doing ain't been working. Y'all ain't won no championship in 20 years. Let me do this shit because I'm famous. Would you be upset or not?
Yes, I would be upset.
Is that disrespectful or not?
Yes, it is disrespectful.
Can you use his help though?
Yes, but as I said, there's a way to go about
exactly. And so what we're saying, those of us that give a fuck enough to do some reading before we open our fat mouth, is, dog, there's nothing wrong with what you want to do. We want you to help. We need all the Twitter followers we can to see the stuff. But bruh, you're not the coach. You're a volunteer at a practice. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to help, Q, but now you're in the way. Because you know who's going to benefit from Cube coming there trying to do all that silly shit, the next coach you play, the next team you play, he gonna take advantage of the disarray that happened at your practice. Is he not? You think the next team gonna be like, oh nah, we'll play with them after they play us. The next time we play them, we're gonna let them get their shit together. Or they gonna come in and bust your head.
But that's the thing. We shouldn't have shown so much disarray. We shouldn't have shown so much infighting.
And this is I agree with that as well. But to our analogy, Trump is the opposing team that you're scheduled to play on November 3rd. Is Trump going to say, no, we're going to sit this election out because you guys haven't practiced enough with Ice Cube? Or is Trump going to say, I'm going to fuck y'all up when we see y'all? We got to be honest with ourselves, man. There's nothing wrong. Nobody's saying Cube was wrong. I haven't seen a person yet say Cube's contract is stupid. I haven't seen that. What people are saying is, Cube, we love the effort, we love the energy and the enthusiasm. Could you please work with us in a coordinated manner? The Democratic Party said the same thing. They was like, if we win, we'll talk with you. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody else, Roland Martin, Congressional Black Caucus, founders of Black Lives Matter, hell, the Nation of Islam, which he used to be a part of, they've been asking for this kind of help for 30 years. Why is he all of a sudden so interested in it? He was in the Nation of Islam when the Million Man March happened. There was a book. There was two books. There were two companion books written about the Nation of Islam's Million Man March and the Day of Absence, the ladies' counterpart to the man's version. There are books. He could have read the books. They got the same stuff that his contract has. It's not that people don't want to get stuff done. It's not that your team isn't having practice. It's because you need a little different. We need different help. We need some different athletes. We might have to change strategies. It's not that we're not trying. That's my main gripe with Cube and other celebrities that claim they want to help. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Elevate somebody else's platform that's doing the work. That's all I'm saying. Don't get out here with no red table talk, talking about you a psychologist with a kid that got ADHD, talking about you can fix it because you famous. Oh, sit down, move, get out the way. Get in the way. Cube, sit down, get out the way. Because you just got exposed and now you're in the way. Am I making sense, Doug?
We're making sense.
Any concerns? Like, again, nothing's wrong with it. I agree with what he said. It is. Oh, that is so good, Ice Cube. You did a good job. You gonna let your son come in the kitchen to help you carve a turkey up for Thanksgiving, Doug? Because he wants to help?
No.
Does that mean you don't love your son? No. He's like, hey, son, I love you. Get out the way, though. You want to eat, don't you? Yeah, I want to eat some turkey. Get out the way so I can make it. You ain't never done this a day in your life. Move.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, and this is not just with Cube. It's with the whole council culture mentality. Mm-hmm. Is that my son can come into the kitchen and I can say, hey man, now's not the time or whatever. Maybe on a less desirable holiday like President's Day, we could practice, but Thanksgiving,
wrong time,
Thanksgiving reserved for the OGs. So,
is he being canceled?
I mean, from the way people, have, said, oh, I'm just not messing with him. He's completely wrong. People are making it seem like he's endorsed their campaign and things like that nature or whatever.
Okay.
That's the thing that I have problem with. So if my son came in, I wouldn't, take him in front of, the whole family that's gathered for Thanksgiving and be like, hey, would you believe what he came in the kitchen and said to do or whatever? He want to cut. How dare he want to cut the turkey? It's like, so I think there's a way, for you to excuse or dismiss people or ask people to talk for a little bit without the public chastising. And that's the thing is that, we've known what Cube has been and done for our community. I mean, he started a basketball league. I
Yeah.
mean, when was the last time somebody started a league?
What was that about 10
He's
episodes
the only
ago?
black commissioner of a sports league,
Like
and
we agree with what he's doing.
he gave retired basketball
A
players
place to go.
place the ball. You know, you could play into your 40s. Katino Mobley, damn near 50, still getting buckets. I'm saying,
Great old man Mobley.
I'm saying, so we can't just dismiss everything that he's done because his one foray into this arena did not
Yeah.
go well
No,
as far as
I
that's kind of the bigger thing. Is
yeah.
not endorsing what he's done or how he's doing it,
Right.
but just kind of saying, hey, let's not just dismiss people who have been major parts of
Forces.
our society. It
Yeah.
forces, like I said,
Yeah.
man, what he's doing.
It's a powerful force, man.
And so that's my thing is not like, I know we had a conversation, whatever, not caping up for him in this situation, but just saying, hey, man, let's look at the totality of how people move and how people do things or whatever, and not just be so quick to dismiss them.
Yeah, I don't think this is a thing he should be canceled for. Like, please don't equate this to what R. Kelly did. This is not the same. This ain't Kanye saying 400 years of slavery was a choice. Not the same.
But yeah, but people are like the boat that people are people putting them in are Kanye, 50 Cent, and Ice Cube. Like, those are the three people that
Yeah.
Are in the same boat this week.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think that's foolish too. Just like I said earlier, I'm gonna keep saying it. Q's plan is great. Uh, it's great. It's like a little kid bringing a poster that they made and saying, "Look, Dad, I made this for you. You love it. You appreciate it. Good. I see that my son has an interest in being an artist. Maybe I should get him some training." He decides he don't want to show up, then I'd be like, all right, well, thanks for the painting you did give me. I appreciate it. But I ain't finna sit up here and be like, my son, the next Basquiat. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Hey, you got a lot of training to go. But again, like you said, don't crap on your son for bringing you a portrait that they made at school. Like, that's the wrong thing to do. Because what's going to end up happening is what? Your kid going to stop drawing, Q going to start helping, and then we're going to be stuck right in the same spot. So,
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I think it discourages other people from trying to get involved in the process.
Right. I agree.
And I think that's one thing you don't want to do. And I think, we've alluded to it in a lot of information that's come out about the growing number of Black men who have, started to support 45 or whatever. And, and
wait,
people are doing.
Pause. Time out. Topic 2. That's topic 2. Let's do topic 2. I think we've done all we can do with the cube topic. Let's go into it. Cue it up and then share your piece.
No, I'm saying I don't know what the sources are, but some people that are really, really connected. Is one brother who his name, I forget his name right now, but I actually started following him on Twitter or whatever. It was he was a part of that panel that you sent me, talking about Cube or whatever, but he's the one that like measures the polls. And he was saying that like pretty much all of his indicators are showing that Black men are starting to be won over by 45's campaign or whatever, and he's starting to earn more and more of their votes or whatever.
Right.
Jason Whitlock had an article about this.
Right.
And he related to hip hop music and how the same reasons why Black men are attracted to hip hop music are the same reason why Black men are attracted to 45. So, as I said, I don't know where they're getting the information from, but I do think that people are, when you go into the booth, it's just you and that piece of paper or whatever. But I do think more people are checking that box as opposed to people that are just outwardly saying, yeah, I support 45. But data's starting to come out, though.
All right. So if you guys aren't aware of what we're discussing, uh, there has been a growing trend in the news. Well, I guess what is a hotter, bigger topic? Anyway, it's a political. I'm gonna call it a scandal in the black community. There is a growing number of African American men who are becoming supporters vocally or not, silently or not, vocal supporters of Donald Trump. And the political pundits are saying that if everything goes well for Donald Trump's campaign, they can get up to 20% of the African American men in this country to vote for Donald Trump. Well,
And
the voting men.
that will and that will
And
most likely win
right.
him the
And that will instead of this being what looks to be a landslide for Joe Biden, it will turn it into a dogfight that will rely heavily on the electoral college, which we know would be a terrible thing for the election because that will give room for judges to step in and decide who wins the election. We do not want that to happen because, as we saw in 2004, no, 2000, the
2002.
Bush, hmm?
2002.
You talking about the Bush Al Gore run? The
Wasn't
Bush Al
that
Gore?
2002?
That was 2000.
2000. Okay. 2000.
Yeah, in Florida, if you guys remember, in Florida in 2000, the whole country's ballots had been put in and their results were done, but the electoral college system depended on Florida's election results to come in before the president can be decided. And so once we zoomed in on Florida, we started zooming into West Palm Beach, and I think two other counties, but West Palm Beach in particular, they were having such a problem with their voting machine keeping up with the tallies, and there were so many mail-in ballots that weren't counted correctly or thrown out because of improper completion. And so what that turned into was this entirely circus-like scandal that ended up making it to the Florida Supreme Court and having a lot of Bush's political buddies and lawyers, friends, calling some of the top talent from around the country. One of them being Amy Coney Barrett, one of them being Justice John Roberts, who were lawyers at the time, came down to Florida and helped Bush come up with a legal strategy to get the mail-in ballots that were thrown out, thousands of them, brought back in, readmitted to the count, and that ultimately gave Bush the election for president with just 500 votes. Now, we don't want to have a situation like that happen again here in 2020 because we know already that Trump is going to try to manipulate any loopholes possible to steal the election, which is why he's forced Amy Coney Barrett's nomination through because he knows that she'll vote in his favor, which is why we know a lot of circuit court judges that are appointees by the government have been appointed. And we're going to have a lot of situations where you're going to see some shit like the Kentucky, the Breonna Taylor case, which was decided by a judge to be reopened. We're going to have situations like that. We're going to have situations like the Minneapolis police, was it Derek Chauvin, who had some charges thrown out because the judge thought it was appropriate to throw those charges out. Guys, this is the 20% of the African American men that are supporting Donald Trump are making this very, very crucial for the rest of the country. Their support of Donald Trump is setting us up to have the next 40 years be another fight against white supremacy. Because if Trump gets reelected, we know they're going to pack more courts with conservative judges. And why should that matter to you? Let's look at the George Floyd case. Judge in that situation might rule favorably for the police officers involved in that killing. The judges in the Breonna Taylor case might be replaced and replaced with people that have ruled favorably for the police department of Minneapolis. You guys will have to deal with different issues in your own neighborhoods. Like that one thing that was happening in Florida, we had this judge that was sentencing children to harsh sentences just so they could sell the kids off to prisons. Not a conspiracy. We had a couple judges doing that in Florida. Guys, this stuff matters because it will set us up to have to deal with problems that we claim were so egregious in the 1994 crime bill if we support Donald Trump the way that the media is saying that we are doing. So let's talk about why. I've been digging up some information. I came up with a couple trends that are being tied to these men. Let's talk about why these men feel like they should support Donald Trump. Because that's, you have to get into what they're thinking.
Yes. I mean, I know you did some more information, a lot more information probably than I did. But I know one of the things that people, don't trust Joe Biden with the '94 crime bill, and they feel that him pushing that bill is what originally sent, a large amount of, led to a large amount of black men being incarcerated.
Right.
So, they don't trust him to be president because of that past mistake that he admittedly made. He admitted that was a mistake
right.
in a debate, and is trying to put forth things to kind of overturn that. Even when he was vice president, him and Barack released, I think they said, 38,000 prisoners that, they overturned convictions and did things of that nature. So, so I mean, Joe Biden made it a mistake. But, and I think 45, I know at least 2 times he hammered that during the debate. Like, hey, like, this dude sent black men to prison. Like, he flat out said it during the debate Thursday night. And right. So that is kind of one of his sticking points of trying to win black men over. And another thing is that, I mean, it may sound silly, but a lot of people feel like the left are only catering to women. And when it comes to black families, they're only catering to black women and not necessarily catering to black men at all. Because they've seen that black women can, swing an election like we saw in Alabama about 1.5 years ago.
Right.
So I don't know if this is a case where it's saying, hey, look at what we can do. I hope that's not, I hope it's not that petty of a situation, but
it is. It is. Let me revisit. I want to revisit why this 20% of black men is so important to the Trump campaign after I say this, because we're still listing reasons that these men have shared with surveyors. So not Trump, my bad. Like, just right. One thing is they feel like Democrats don't care about them and they cater too much to women, black women, which it is petty. Second thing, here's some legit concerns that every American has. They don't feel like they make enough money or they want to make enough money to take care of their family and be good fathers. An overwhelming majority of this group of men looks at Donald Trump as a good father because he has the money he has to give his family the lifestyle that they have. And they want to do the same thing for their families. They want to be the kind of financial provider that they think Donald Trump is. Another thing, they like the way Trump says fuck you to every formality involved in being a politician. They want to be able to have that same brash nature when they walk through and deal with the things that they have to deal with in their life. So for them, Trump is a tough guy with a lot of money who can shove people around, and they want to be able to do that. And they just bitter because, let's be honest, niggas don't vote, women do. And so, like any good business strategy would tell you, let's consume as much of that market as we can. And since black women turn out to vote almost twice as much as black men, of course the Democratic Party is going to conserve their finite amount of energy and go after guaranteed voters. How do you combat that, pledge? Not, the numbers, the 50% of black men compared to 100% of black women, or twice as much. You could get out and vote.
You show them some attention. You say, hey, you've been neglected.
Yeah.
Nobody has said what's up to you. I'm
I,
saying I'm saying what's up to you.
I mean, let's be honest, man. We getting left out a lot of stuff because we choosing not to participate.
Yeah.
Like we're withdrawing ourselves from a lot of this political stuff by choice. Um, Let me give you an example. This is another crazy stat that I heard yesterday while I was volunteering. In the neighborhood of 400 people in an election that they had last year for some local elections, only 4 people participated. Who you mad
The
at?
person who was voting their household showed up for him.
I guess so. But like, I mean, out of the entire neighborhood, 400 registered voters, only 4 of y'all showed up.
Man,
Yeah, who you mad at?
yeah,
Can't be mad at nobody.
yeah, man. Now let me ask you this though. Um, do you Jason Whitlock made a correlation between 45 and hip hop culture.
Okay.
He went on to break it down of it being, you know, about getting money,
Tough guy money. Yeah.
about being
Flashy.
not being politically correct
Mm-hmm.
and kind of being outspoken and brash,
Right.
being a tad bit misogynistic,
Right.
you know, and how you view and treat women. I mean, and I think he was more so relating to old school hip hop, the hip hop that he grew up on, not necessarily, you know, today modern day hip hop or whatever.
Okay.
But he was saying that's one reason why, you know, he even broke it down. He said 45 has been mentioned in 86 different hip hop songs amongst Black artists over the years. You know, of course, the majority of this was before he became president or whatever. Mm-hmm. But do you see the correlation between how he conducts himself and how he conducts the country to not maybe necessarily modern day hip hop, but old school hip hop?
I mean, you could throw modern day hip hop in there if you want to. I mean that I do see the correlation. I do see if that's the logic, I get it. It makes a lot of sense according to that logic.
Yeah.
According to that logic, it makes a lot of sense. And that's why Jason Whitlock picked that logic. That's why Jason Whitlock picked those facts to support his argument for, oh, this is why black people supporting Donald Trump. It's bullshit. Just like Candace Owens be throwing out facts. Again, they're actual facts, but it's bullshit.
I mean, it is because one thing you're dancing in the club to, and another thing is kind of leading the whole nation. And so that shouldn't you shouldn't be basing your decisions off. I said one thing: hip hop culture is something that you dance in the club to, or just bump in the car, you know, as you're riding. But you shouldn't base your decision on who should run the free world based on, you know, what you want to hear, you know, when you ride into the store.
I agree with you.
You cannot make those correlations, you know, because it makes you feel good, you know, and that's what music is supposed to do. Music is supposed to make you feel good. But, you know, you should hire the person who's going to do the absolute best job, you know, and be the person that's going to do the greater good overall. So.
Yeah, another thing I saw, I didn't have a chance to get a lot of research done on this one, but black men that own businesses, everybody swear tax relief is such a big deal. I know a lot of people that own property also feel like tax relief. Again, these are these guys' concerns for why they picked Donald Trump. It's related to money, and more often than not, it's related to being inappropriate and being cavalier and just basically trying to do whatever the fuck you want whenever you want to, because Trump appears to do that. And cavemen when it comes to women, just being rapey, brute force, because Trump ain't known for seducing no women. Let's be honest. On record, he's brute force with women. I kiss him in the mouth, grab him by the crotch. That's appealing to men. Now, the onus on the political candidates in all these platforms and all these arenas They have to get their message out there. Trump is a master at making sure you hear about his brand and how he does things. He's not going to tell you about the substantive things that he's done against you. He's only going to talk about the things that he thinks you want to hear. That's just good marketing. Democratic Party is terrible at marketing.
Correct.
These local elections, they're not terrible at marketing, but they don't talk a lot about their policy issues. So when it comes time to have an election, don't nobody know what the fuck you be doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what's happening. Right?
Like, I mean, like, as I said, Democrats are guilty of that too, because what's the number one topic people want to talk about when they get Kamala Harris to sit down with them? Her shoe game. That's a general, like, the constant thing that you see in all of the I got some Chucks on because I know you like Chucks. Oh, Timberland. It's like, nah, like, we gotta move past that.
I would definitely agree with you there. And let's let everybody know the reason that they're doing that is because the majority of the supporters are women. That's an issue that women care a lot about. Okay?
Shoes?
Yeah, I mean, it's fashion. It's just fashion.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have to cater to men because men are absent. We're removing ourselves from the conversations. So why do we want them to talk about some shit that we're not present to hear? That's not their fault, right? They're just elected to do a job that you're not participating in. I get the 94 crime bill thing. That was a terrible thing. A lot of people were involved in that. I can damn sure promise you that some of the mofos that are in the Republican Senate and Congress now were involved in that in 94.
No, he said 100 senators were, like, that's pretty much everybody in the Senate.
Everybody. Black,
everybody
white.
was a part of that.
That's all senators. There's only 100 senators. Yeah. So that was unanimously supported by, let's be honest, the entire federal government.
And the Congressional Black Caucus was behind that as well. I mean, so everybody has to be held accountable for that.
Everybody. It's a Trojan horse, man. Trump is trying to sneak into the black vote, and he's sending the Trojan horse called the 94 crime bill and the HBCU funding, and he's going to get in and steal votes. Let's talk about the HBCU support. Yes, he gave more money to black people than Barack Obama did. And like Joe Biden said in the debate, it's because Congress let him do it.
Yeah.
They didn't let Trump went out there and wrote up no legislation and no executive order saying, you know what? I did some research and I noticed that black colleges don't get as much money as white colleges. Let me draft up this legislation. No, the presidents kept coming to Congress and asking for money. And Trump, like Trump always does, saw an opportunity and took advantage of it. Let's not be confused with what the outcome was and how things got to be that way. That is not the kind of game we need to be playing with this guy. Guys, I understand that you have concerns, that you want to stunt because a lot of women make you feel pressure to have money. I know you stunt because you got a family and want your family to have a better life than you did or equal to the one that you had. But you got to be more involved in the local politics. Pledge, Stonecrest. I love it. I love it. I love it. I got to find some. I got to do more research. Their property taxes. They wrote in some legislation that said their property taxes are a fixed rate. And the only way it goes up is it takes some really big issues like a large amount of population growth that the city notices is problematic enough that they need more money to take care of the city. But if that's not the situation, you know how they get their taxes? They taxing all the businesses in the county. And when the county collects all the taxes from all the retail, all the consumer rates and taxes, they're splitting it up with the cities inside the county. Now, that's an elected law. You got to participate in your local politics if you want certain things to be that way. And let's be honest, if you got 4,500 people in your city that's registered to vote and only 356 of them show up, you can't say nothing. Ain't nothing you can say. So, yes, fellas, your concerns are real. Yes, fellas, you guys have some legitimate concerns that should be addressed by politicians, but Trump ain't the person to do it. Federal government ain't the person to do it. It was state and local. Let's be honest. Taxes ain't going up because Donald Trump or Joe Biden. That's a locally controlled thing. There are some things like federal rates that do impact stuff, but I mean, players owns a house. I don't. Players, who? How does your place decide property tax rates?
It's local. It's at the county level.
Oh, well, there you
I mean,
go.
that decides property taxes. Yeah.
Oh, well, does Trump have anything to do with that outside of the federal? Isn't the Federal Reserve a completely separate entity from the federal government anyway? And don't they regulate things on their own, independent of the federal government's input?
I mean, the only thing that on a national level would be, like your income tax. That's set, at the federal level.
Right.
But everything else is like what we pay for goods, property taxes, all that stuff is set on a local level. So
Yeah. I want to revisit this judge thing, but let me do this first. Okay, fellas, to the fellas that might be considering vote for Trump as opposed to Joe Biden, listen to these stats. Okay, judges, we know what judges do. We got enough rap songs about judges, right or wrong. We got a lot of rap songs about judges. You know what it's like going to court. You know what it's like when you got to go stand up in front of this old white man and plead your case about why you're selling drugs or why you're not paying child support or why you're getting these tickets or like, all the myriad of reasons that one would have to go into court, especially those that are disproportionately affecting African American men. We don't want Trump in office because of these following numbers. Donald Trump, in less than 4 years, has appointed 65% of the amount of judges that Barack Obama appointed in 8 years. Barack Obama appointed 334 judges. Donald Trump has appointed 190 in 3 years. Okay? That's about 65%. Why does that matter to you? Let's look at that. Let's break down the 190 judges that he appointed. Regional Court of Appeals. That means if you're locked up and you're trying to appeal your stuff, of course you got to work your way up the hierarchy. Barack Obama only appointed 49 in his 8 total years as president of the United States. Donald Trump has appointed 50. You think you're putting in people that's going to be considerate of your situation and be like, you know what? This brother deserves another chance and be generous and let you get some reduced sentencing? No. Let's look at something else. Let's look at district courts. Barack Obama, in 8 years, did 268. That's how many Trump did in just 3, 133. This is the stuff that is affecting your actual life. These are the people that are following blindly behind Donald Trump and doing the things that he wants done to you. You voted for Trump based on some damn hyper-inflated dream about being a millionaire when you ain't got nothing to show for it right now in 4 years. Shouldn't be the reason that you voting for somebody else other than Joe Biden. The reason we're telling you to vote for Joe Biden, we're not pro-Joe Biden here on the show. We're not Democrats here on the show. We're black people. We got fucking black interests first. We're going to fix our shit, our family, our neighborhood, our household. Then we'll help everybody else out once we get what we need. But let's not be confused. There is no better opponent for Donald Trump in this election than Joe Biden. There is no better opponent for black people to get what they need after November 3rd and January, that second Tuesday in January, than Joe Biden. He is going to be the easiest opponent for us to get what we need. So all this bullshit about Ice Cube's contract with Black America, you think Trump gonna give a fuck about that if he in the office again? You think that Republican-run Senate is gonna give a fuck about you getting this $500 million if Trump wins again? It's not happening. Your best bet is to have Joe Biden in office so you can get your stupid plan from Ice Cube.
And here's the thing. 45 has been in office these last 4 years, knowing that he had to get reelected.
He ain't tried.
No, I'm saying, but
No, I ain't mean to cut you
he
off
had to
because
be
I know what you're doing.
somewhat civil because
Yeah,
he's like, I have to be tolerable for people to consider reelecting me.
right.
Imagine how he will be if he doesn't have to keep anybody's vote the next time.
He don't give a fuck. Like he already don't give a fuck. You think this bad? Y'all think this shit bad? Wait till he get in that bitch again and be like, ain't shit y'all can do to me.
I'm here.
He gonna he gonna wild the fuck out, dog.
He's gonna be intolerable.
He gonna wild the fuck out. Look at California, dog. They need money from the federal government because of the damn fires and the disasters that they having. Because you know states get their money from the federal government. If we give a fuck about taxes so much, the federal government doesn't have to get their taxes from anybody else. They make the damn money that they spending in their backyard. States and local governments have to get their money from the government, the federal government. So California needs money to deal with these wildfires because they ain't got enough. Who they supposed to get it from? Trump. Trump's like, fuck y'all.
Because he know they're not voting for him.
Exactly. Because Gavin Newsom is a goddamn liberal left Democrat. I mean, y'all ain't thinking, dog. This chestnut checkers, bro.
He know that there's no way he will win California ever.
Ain't yeah. So he like, fuck y'all. Y'all can die. Y'all can burn. Literally.
So since you can't do nothing for him, he's not gonna do anything for you.
And since he know y'all gullible enough to listen to some celebrities that y'all follow on Twitter, he gonna bring them in the White House and be like, look at my African American. Look at how you were looking at Kanye when Kanye was in there doing all that ranting and raving. Trump was like, there you go, Kanye. Keep going, Kanye. Oh yeah, look at me listening to Kanye, and y'all out there eating it up. Oh, I'm gonna vote for Kanye. I said, God damn, y'all dumb. Dog. If Ice Cube was so serious about contract with Black America, he would wait till the election has been decided and then put all his chips in going after the whoever the winner is. Because that's what we doing. We wait until hopefully Joe Biden get in office and then we finna get his ass. Bruh, whatever the show is after November 3rd, finna light Joe Biden ass up. Finna light Kamala Harris ass up. Pay up, nigga. Ain't no loyalty. It's loyalty to us, this household. We Black Americans, we been here 400 years, we don't get shit. Nigga, we done paid reparations to France. Fuck, nigga, we built the goddamn country. You won't give us shit? But we worrying about some goddamn taxes. Fuck that. Y'all tripping, dog. I don't understand how gullible we are, bro. Being desperate don't make you gullible. Internet free. Well, it should be. But come on, bro. Don't be this stupid, man. Let me give y'all some people y'all should listen to. If you just one of them people that you need some shit to be digestible and kind of sort of not scary to your way of life, listen to Roland S. Martin and his unfiltered shit. If you want to listen to some black men that talk cash shit like we do on the show, you can go listen to Clickbaity with the Benjamin S. Dixon show that come on every morning at 8 a.m. You got three brothers on there talking cash shit about the needs of Black Americans. If you want to get up and go get involved in your local community, again, there's tons of organizations on the ground that are trying to get shit done for you in your neighborhood. The easiest one I can tell you to go join is the NAACP. It's so easy. You can go volunteer. Just Google NAACP near me. You can find one. That's the stuff that is the easiest stuff for you to do. Go show up to the PTA meetings at your child's school. Show up to the local residential commissions and meetings that they have on stoplights in your neighborhood. Don't ignore that stuff. You got people in here running your city with 10 votes and 5 votes and 4 votes and 300 votes. Nigga, you got more likes than that on Facebook. No, fuck Nick Cannon. Because Nick Cannon has had to quell his thirst down a little bit. I get that. He's not. You can listen to Nick Cannon if you want to have some conservative stuff going on. But Nick Cannon is not a journalist, not a journalist. He doesn't cover stuff that is affecting your local life every week. You guys need to zoom in on local stuff. That's my message. Zoom in on local issues. Zoom in on your local issues. Zoom in on your local issues. Local, 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 local. You
That
can
will
enjoy, huh?
said that will affect your
Yeah. Like right now, right outside my window, the city of Decatur, Georgia, is fixing the roads in my neighborhood. I've been here 15 months. Guess when they started fixing the roads?
election time.
Election. I wasn't here to vote in the last election, so I couldn't say shit. They fixing the roads now. Right now. Because why? Because they want to get reelected. That's the same. Look at some of the stuff in your neighborhood. Look at how dirty your street is. Look at how unkempt the trees and the bushes are in your neighborhood. If you care about that sort of stuff, somebody's in charge of keeping that clean. You paying taxes to businesses and property taxes to get that sort of stuff cleaned up. You have say so on that. Do not sit and focus all your time and attention on some national conspiracy theory stuff. Get out here and work in your local community. If you care. Right now, we sound like we don't care. Again, I'm gonna throw this stat at y'all again. Goddamn Stonecrest talked to a city councilman. He in there talking to the people in the neighborhood that was complaining at a meeting, and he was laughing to himself because he's like, "Man, only 4 of y'all voted. There's 50 y'all in this room, but only 4 of y'all voted." Think he care? I mean, he does care, but at that particular meeting, you think he's like afraid? Y'all got to get out and vote. Ice Cube ain't gonna say you. Let me put y'all on game. All that stuff Cube talking about in this contract, that's gonna take Congress. That's gonna take state government funding, which is gonna come from the federal government, which is gonna come back to Congress. And then y'all gonna have to get some businesses to jump on your side. Y'all ain't out here voting in local stuff. Anybody listening to us? That's why they laugh at us, bro. If you're a man listening to this show, or if you're a woman that has a man that you want to get involved in local politics, ask them to look up the Black Male Voter Project. Elections happen every year, every year, every year, every year. Get out and be involved in what's happening in your personal community. Tell that man to volunteer for the Black Male Voter Project.
Yeah, and the thing is that they don't necessarily publicize elections because they don't want people to show up.
They don't want you to vote.
You have to seek out opportunities to vote because they're trying to keep the election as quiet as possible, so as few people participate as possible. And they know if a lot of people don't participate, their side is going to win because they're more locked into exactly what's going on.
Yes. Find out what's going on in your community. Look at something that you want to change. Get involved in local politics if you care. Okay? Guys, people shouldn't be winning elections with 300 votes. 300. The councilman I told you, the election I told you with the 356 votes, guess who his opponent was? Nobody. Nobody ran against him because nobody cares.
Yeah.
Let's be for real. Stop playing with yourself. You ain't tricking nobody else. Trump ain't falling for it. Republicans ain't falling for it. School board in your county ain't falling for it. Come on, cuz. Up here, man, we got a last thing. I'm gonna wrap up. Unless you got something else you want to say. Our schools ain't open back up yet. Thank God for that. 3 counties have not opened. 3 school districts have not opened up their schools. One of the school districts that I work for, we haven't opened. But guess what's happening on the ground in my community? There are 19 families putting together $1,500 pools, like every family contributes $1,500, and they're buying billboards around the county and making a direct statement to the school district saying, parents deserve a choice, open up the schools, send my kids back to school. They brought 19 billboards, bro. Yeah. Like, this is the kind of stuff you should be concerned about. If you don't want your kid going back to school because you think about the coronavirus, Talk to your school board elected officials. You vote for that. But if you don't vote, you get what you get. That's where the war at. They just, unfortunately for us, they falling behind Trump and whoever's the elected person for president. But y'all got to be serious, man. If you're serious about doing the work, share this. If you're serious about doing the work, like this. If you're serious about doing the work, repost it. Tell your friends. Get out here and vote. I'm sorry if my brash delivery don't make you feel good. Players, we lost a lot of followers because of what I said about the red table talk.
Oh,
Ain't the
wow.
show for him. Ain't the show for him. Like, bro, I'm finding out that I can go full tilt because niggas on national platforms cussing people out
Hmm.
and they still getting the work done. So if you want to get the work done, you'll do it. The information is there for y'all. Share it if you think it's worthwhile. Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher. Share, repost, share and repost, share and repost. Like, please. Thanks. I'm
Go
trying to
vote.
help y'all. And go Biden. Fuck it. I'm saying it. Go Biden. Because on November 4th, we're coming for that ass. So go Biden.
No doubt. Yeah, man. Y'all make sure y'all get out and vote. Get involved, not just and you guys should have a sample ballot. If you don't have a sample ballot, you can go to your county's website and you can see the other people that are participating in the local and state races, so you can do your research on them before you head to the polls, so you're not just in there guessing like y'all did on the SATs. But yeah, so yeah, get not just for the presidential race, but all the other local races
Right.
to date and up to speed on everything that's happening there. And I mean, because this is a big, the Senate could be flipped as well.
Yep.
You better believe if you're gonna have a president from the left, you're gonna need a Senate from the left, because that's what Barack Obama ran
Did not
into.
have.
He was president, so he had presidential control, but I think only 4 years he had control of the Senate.
Right.
And so it made it very difficult on him. So if we're going to take it, we might as well take it all, so that way more things can get pushed through.
Yep. And that website, I have a universal website that'll help with all local elections. They do a great job of keeping up with the new information as it comes. Ballotpedia, like Wikipedia, but ballotpedia.com. And then if you want to get your local stuff, you can do Ballotpedia, then ballotpedia.com / whatever state you live in. It'll give you the elections for where you are, and it also give you opportunity to put in your zip code if you want to see neighborhood elections. Ballotpedia. Hey man, on us. Senate, Congress, some judges, some school board officials, some mayors, city councilmen. It's all up to us. This is the least we could do. This is the free way to get this done. This is the free way to be heard. Take an hour out your day, go vote. You vote now, there's a likelihood of you running into a long line be diminished. You wait till November 3rd. You can bet you about $1. It's going to be some foolishness. Don't wait.
Yeah.
Get out and vote now.
With you.
Go Giants. Woo!
Really